In this video, I'm going to show you how to paint this colourful clownfish scene using acrylic paints. I'll take you through all of the steps you need to create this painting from start to finish. This is a sped up version, but if you'd like to watch the full-length tutorial in real time with detailed step-by-step instructions, that's available on my Patreon. I'll add the link in the description below. We can start by painting the background using a range of turquoise and blue shades. Begin with the lighter turquoise tones at the top and gradually work your way down into the darker shades. You can either blend this into a smooth gradient, or you can use loose, thick brushstrokes like I have for a more textured look. In the bottom left section of the background, we can start adding the base colour for the anemone. I'm using magenta and I'm blending it softly into the blue with my brush. This is just our base layer. We'll build up the texture and details in the next steps. Next, mix some lighter shades of pink and coral and begin adding the tentacles. Choose a brush that's roughly the same width as you'd like your tentacles to be and use a downward motion to paint each one. At this stage, we're only painting the tentacles that will sit behind the fish, so don't worry about the foreground just yet. You can make them slightly lighter as they come forward, but for now keep them quite dark so the fish will stand out clearly against them. Leave your background to dry, then lightly sketch the outline of your fish where you'd like it to go. Using tracing paper can really help with this. I have a video on my channel showing you a great tracing technique which I'll add the link to in the description. Then fill in the entire fish with white paint. This step is important as it helps to keep the colours bright and vibrant, especially as orange acrylic paint can be quite transparent. Now we can start painting the clownfish. It's best to work in sections. Begin with the orange areas, then move on to the white sections, and finally we can add the darker stripes. Make sure you have a reference photo to work from while you paint, as it really helps to make sure everything is in the right place. If you'd like to use the reference image that I'm using, you can download it from the full tutorial on Patreon, along with the line drawing for the fish. The underside of the fish will be in shadow, so we'll use a slightly darker, cooler shade of orange there. The top of the fish will catch the sunlight, so use a brighter, more yellow shade of orange there. As you blend these together, you'll start to see the shape and form of the fish really come together. You can then use the same orange tones to paint the fins. Keep referring back to your reference so you know where the highlights and shadows should go. Because the fins are quite thin, the light often shines through them, making them appear brighter in places. To add more contrast, darken some of the shadows and brighten the highlights. This will add dimension and really help your clownfish stand out. Next, take a smaller paintbrush and use a slightly darker shade of paint to add fine detail lines over the fins. Moving on to the white sections, we can follow the same technique, adding shadows underneath and highlights on top. This time, use a soft grey-blue shade of paint for the shadows. This not only creates depth, but it also reflects the surrounding water, tying everything together nicely. Make sure your shadows and highlights follow the same direction and form as the orange section so the whole fish feels cohesive. For the eye, use brown for the outer circle and black for the pupil. Then we can add a small highlight using a touch of blue and white to really make it pop. The final section of the clownfish is the black stripes. Use a dark shade of blue instead of pure black. Black can look quite flat, whereas a deep blue adds more dimension and reflects the colours of the ocean. These darker stripes should run along the edges of the fins as well as between the orange and white sections of the fish. To finish the clownfish, use a small pointed brush to add tiny dots across each section. Choose a colour that's slightly lighter than the base underneath. This creates a subtle effect of light reflecting off of the scales and really brings the whole fish to life. To complete the painting, we can now add some more anemone tentacles in front of the fish as well as in the foreground. Use the same pink and coral shades as before, but make them slightly lighter as we move forward in the painting. Using the same brush and downward motion, paint in each tentacle. Add a few in front of the fish so it looks like he's swimming among them, but be careful not to cover the fish too much as we want him to be the main focal point. Continue building up the tentacles until you're happy with how they look. To finish the anemone, we can add some highlights to the tentacles in the foreground, focusing on the tops and the sides. This will bring them forward and make them stand out more, so make sure you only add these details to the tentacles in the foreground. Finally, to finish the painting, we can add some bubbles. This step is completely optional, but it's a fun way to add a bit more interest to the top of the painting. An easy way to do this is by dipping a round lid into some white paint and pressing it onto the canvas. I've also made a video on my channel showing you a simple technique for painting bubbles, so check this out if you want to know exactly how to do this. I hope you found this video helpful and that you enjoy painting your own clownfish scene. Don't forget to check out the full-length tutorial over on my Patreon to learn exactly how to paint this step by step, including all of the colours and techniques used. And be sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching!